So today we are going to discuss uh, spin half systems and their rotations. What is meant by the rotation of the spin half systems? We know that is not a physical rotation. So what are the result of spin angular momentum rotations? Okay. So in the last class we have already obtained the commutation relations Ji Jj equal to IH cross epsilon Ijk Jk. So that result you can use for L orbital angular momentum L or spin angular momentum S or any angular momentum J, total angular momentum J. Okay. So using that relation, we are going to, and also the definition of D operator. D operator corresponding to the rotation matrix R. We are going to discuss the spin system. So consider the a spin half particle. Okay, we know that what is the dimension of the basis 2s plus 1, that is n equal to 2. So it will be, the operator will be a 2 by 2 matrix, and the column spin vectors or spin kets will be a 2 by 1 matrix, column matrices. Okay. So this is the spin half system is the lowest system with the particular angular momentum. You cannot find any system lower than this with a particular angular momentum. Okay. All the angular momentum systems are higher than this. The lowest state, possible state is spin half system. Okay. Now we have the equation. The last class we have already obtained the commutation relation. So you change that commutation relation like this. Okay, instead of J, you use spin angular momentum S. So Sx Sy equal to IH cross SZ and cycling. So this is the spin angular momentum component commutation relation. So in order to satisfy this relation, we can choose Sx, Sy and SZ like this. If you choose Sx, Sy and SZ like this, this will be, this commutation relation will be automatically satisfied. So how to choose Sx? So Sx you choose as H cross by 2 into spin up ket spin down bra plus spin down ket plus spin up bra. Okay, choose a combination like this. We know that spin have only two states, spin up and spin down, plus half H cross and minus half H cross. Correspondingly, the states you can represent it as, see this up arrow shows the spin plus or minus plus half H cross by 2, and minus half shows the eigenvalue minus half H cross by 2. Okay, so this is spin up and this is spin down. In your textbook, it is written as plus and minus, but I am using up arrow and down arrow in order not to confuse with that plus and this plus. This is normal addition, algebra addition. So I am using up arrow and down arrow for spin up and spin down. In your textbook, you can see that get plus and get minus for spin up and spin down. Okay, that is a change which I am doing. So you can choose Sx like this. as a combination of Kets and bras of spin up and spin down. So Sx is h cross by 2 spin up, spin down plus spin down, spin up. Okay. Then Sy you can choose it as IH cross by 2. There is a complex I. Okay. Similar to our polyspin matrices, component Y component have this complex number. Sy equal to IH cross by 2 minus spin up, spin down plus spin down, spin up. Okay. Then Szz as H cross by 2 spin up, spin up minus spin down, spin down. Like I have to actually say ket and bra. So if you choose Sx and Sy like this, these definitions will automatically, this we are cleverly choosing so that these Sx, Sy and Szz satisfy our definition of angular momentum Sx Sy equal to IH cross Szz and cyclic. Okay, this I will show with one example. See, I will take one example, rest you can check. Sx Sy minus Sy Sx. Let us do only one algebra. So you multiply Sx Sy then minus Sy Sx. So many terms will come, so that you can write it as IH cross square by 4. Okay, as you can take it as common, constants you can take it as common. Then you keep the order of state vectors. You do not allow to shuffle all these. Okay, so first term into this one. That means minus of spin up, spin down, spin up, spin down. Okay, so that will be like this: minus of spin up, spin down, spin up, spin down. Okay, plus next term, again next term, again next term, then minus 4 terms will come in the first product. Then again 4 terms will come in the second product. Okay, so you work out that algebra. I have written it here, you can check that. And in this expanded form, we know that the states are normalized, states are orthogonal. Okay, so spin up and spin down states are orthonormal states. So we can write this scalar product of spin down, see, spin down and spin up. That is orthogonal. So that will be 0. Okay, and see spin down, scalar product. That is 1. See the middle term. Concentrate on the middle term. Again spin up, that will be 1. Then spin up, spin down, that is 0. So you apply the orthonormality property of the spin up and spin down states. If the scalar product is different, you can put it as 0. If the scalar product both are same, you can put it as 1. So you apply that result, then 4 terms remains. Okay, that is IH cross to the square by 4. Okay, then what remains is spin up, that is, this is not one, this is the first ket and bra. First ket followed by bra, which is the completeness condition. Then minus spin down, plus spin up again, minus spin down, So you can combine these two. Spin up, you can combine as 2 spin up. Okay, minus 2 spin down. So 2 you can take outside. So that becomes IH cross H cross by 2, spin up minus spin down, which is nothing but if you remove the IH cross, what remains is SEZ. You can, from the definition, you can check with the SEZ definition. So SEZ automatically comes. So we verified that these definitions SX, SY, SEZ will satisfy if you choose cleverly like this. Okay, it will satisfy the definition of angular momentum. Now you can check with the SY, SEZ. Again, you can check with the SEZ, SX. All results will match with our definition of commutation relation. I think that is clear. Now, what we are going to do is, we are going to see what happens when you, what are the effect of the SEZ operation. Okay, DZ operation or SEZ D operator when it is acting on the spin system. Okay. Actually, we don't know, that is not physical rotation. Nothing wrong with when it happens with LX, LY and LZ, nothing happened, no problem. Okay, we have no confusion when L operator acting on the orbital states, because that corresponding to physical rotation. But spin is an intrinsic quantity, as we discussed earlier. Spin is an intrinsic quantity, so we are anxious to know what is happening actually when rotation operator is acting on spin half systems. Okay, so what will be the result? We are anxious. So let us first calculate the expectation value of the SX, SY and SZ. For that, you consider a finite angle rotation, phi angle rotation about the Z axis. Let the initial state ket for the spin half system is ket alpha, as we discussed earlier, ket alpha. And after rotation, it is ket alpha suffix R. This is the final rotated state. And dz phi is the operator. dz phi, we are performing finite angle rotation phi about the axis Z. So dz phi is the rotation operator. So this is the mathematical statement. dz acting on phi, this is an operator. dz phi acting on ket alpha, you get ket alpha R, rotated ket alpha. This is the operator equation. Okay, and we have already found what is the nature of dz. dz, you can take it as e to the power of minus I SZ. Here it is SZ, spin operator in the Z direction, SZ phi by H cross. Because this is finite angle, so you have to take it as phi. So e to the power of my dz phi is e to the power of minus I SZ phi by H cross. Okay, to see that whether this operator really rotates the physical system, what is actually happening when this operator is acting, you find the expectation value of SX, SY and SZ. So let us find first find SX, expectation of SX. Expectation of SX is, see, this is the expectation value. These are normalized states, so no need of any denominator. So bra alpha R SX ket alpha R is the expectation value of Sx. So this is after rotation. So system is rotated, and this ket alpha R is the final rotated state. So with respect to that, this is the expectation value Sx of Sx. Okay, so that you can write it as for Sx, you can write it as, or for this alpha or sorry, for the ket alpha R, you can write from this relation what is ket alpha R, dz acting on alpha. So write that ket alpha R you can replace with dz acting on alpha, and here it is dz dagger acting on bra alpha. Okay, now let us simplify this mathematically, and dz is nothing but e to the power of minus iscz phi by h cross. So substitute that and simplify the middle factor. So this is e to the power of minus, and this is e to the power of plus. So substitute that e to the power of I scz phi by h cross sx e to the power of minus I scz phi by h cross. Let us evaluate that. This can be evaluated in two ways. I am going to discuss only one way. Second method you can try at home. So let us evaluate this quantity. Now substitute for Sx as we defined earlier from equation number 19. What is Sx? Sx is h cross by 2 spin up, spin down plus spin down, spin up. Okay, within ket and brass. So substitute for Sx. So the e to the power of plus will come here. H cross by 2 is a constant, goes to the left. Then e to the power of plus, this is Sx, e to the power of minus. Okay. Now when e to the power of operator acting on a ket vector, we know that its eigenvalue will emerge out. Okay. So it is equivalent to this you can write it as 1 plus x, e to the power of x, you can write it as 1 plus x. So scz will act on this spin up state. As a result, what happens, we know what the relation scz acting on spin up is plus h cross by 2 spin up. That is eigenvalue equation. Now scz acting on spin down is minus h cross by 2 spin down, and their bra relations, their corresponding bra relations are there. One is this one, scz acting on bra spin up, it is h cross by 2 bra spin up. Okay. Similarly, scz acting on bra minus is also like that, minus h cross by 2 bra spin down. So I substitute this result. This becomes what h cross by 2 is here. Then e to the power of, after operation, you replace again 1 plus x by e to the power of x. So 1 does nothing. Then scz acting on this one, you get h cross by 2. So h cross by 2 into this quantity, I by h cross into phi. So h cross cancels, you get I phi by 2. Okay, is that clear? When scz acting on spin up, h cross by 2 comes, h cross cancels, and you get I by 2 into phi, I phi by 2. So e to the power of I phi by 2. Is that clear? How this comes? scz acting on spin up, h cross by 2 comes. So h cross by 2 and h cross cancels. So I phi by 2, e to the power of I phi by 2 will come. into spin up. This is same spin down. Okay. Now from this side, e to the power of minus SEZ will act on this bra spin down. Okay. So you get minus h cross by 2. So minus minus will cancel, h cross will cancel. Here you get e to the power of I phi by 2. See what happens is e to the power of plus is acting from left side. See, e to the power of plus is acting from left side on both terms, and e to the power of minus acting from the right on the both terms. That is how you can simplify. Okay. Similarly, e to the power of when e to the power of I term plus term act on spin down, you get e to the power of minus I phi by 2, and when this one e to the power of minus acting on spin up, you get e to the power of minus I phi by 2. Okay. If this algebra is not clear, you can ask. Now you can simplify this. These two can be, now operator is gone. Now only constants are remaining. So this you can combine and you can write it as e to the power of I phi. These two you can combine as e to the power of minus I phi. Okay. So spin up, spin down, spin down, spin up. Now e to the power of I phi, you can write it as cos phi plus I sin phi. So write it here, and here it is cos phi minus I sin phi. So cos phi terms you can combine and sin phi terms you can combine, and you will get h cross by 2. See, cos will come here and here. So it will be cos phi into spin up, spin down, plus from here spin down, spin up, plus now I sin will come, I sin theta, I sin phi into spin up, spin down, minus spin down, spin up. So these are nothing but h cross by 2. If you take inside, the first term is nothing but sx, and second term is nothing but sy. So you can check that with the definitions of sx and sy. You can see that this is nothing but sx cos phi and sy sin phi. I think that is clear. Now, second method, I will give an introduction, but you can complete. E to the power of I g lambda. This kind of simplification we need usually to solve some problems. So you familiar with this kind of operation. So this is a similar term, e to the power of I g lambda, a operator e to the power of minus I g lambda. Now you expand e to the power of using their expansion. So it will be 1 plus I x, x means I g lambda, then x square by 2 factorial plus etc. Then a operator, this is e to the power of minus. Expand. Then you find the, let a acting on this e to the power of minus expansion first. Then you multiply the first e to the power of plus expansion with the second factor. You will get many terms. So finally you can write that one as a plus, see, two terms you can combine, and you can write it as I lambda into GA minus AG, that is commutation GA. So this is G and this is A. So in terms of that, you can expand this. So this is a series. So you will get a series, etc. You familiarize this series because that is we needed that kind of expertise to solve some problems. So you can take that result granted. You can, if you once you prove this, you can always use that result also to solve some problems. So this is a method too by which you can find the same result you will obtain. Sx cos phi minus Sy sin phi. Okay, that is a homework. You can continue. Now you substitute back the result what we obtained. Okay, this was the result. Get Sx, expectation value of Sx. That was we are going to find out. Expectation value of Sx. So that means rotated alpha, bra alpha, Sx, rotated ket alpha. So that was, you can substitute for this one. So you get bra alpha. This is the result what we obtained. Sx cos phi minus Sy sin phi ket alpha. Okay. So that you can write it as, write this separately. Okay. Let ket and bra act from both sides. So you can write bra alpha Sx ket alpha cos phi minus bra alpha Sy ket alpha sin phi. Okay. But this term is nothing but expectation value of Sx. Okay. So this is Sx R, rotated expectation value, equal to Sx before rotation. So I have to do some correction. What I wrote earlier is like this. See, you correct this equation. This is actually Sx of R. What we found Sx after rotation. So you change this Sx of R. Okay. That is nothing but Sx, expectation of Sx before rotation, then cos alpha, cos phi, then Sy before rotation, sin phi. Okay. Now you can smell this is a kind of rotation. Similarly, you can find Sy of R. That is a homework. That is again a homework you have to perform. You do this, otherwise you will not be expert in doing this. So you find Sy of R, you will get the result. Expectation Sy cos phi and expectation of Sx sin phi. Okay. So this is, now you may smell, this is like a rotation. Actually it rotates, expectation value. Now find the SZ, expectation of SZ. But we, since we are rotating about the Z axis, any change to the expectation value of SZ? No change. No change for SZ because DZ and SZ commutes. No change for SZ. So expectation value of SZ before rotation and after rotation are same. Only change is for Sx and Sy. So now you combine all these equations, expectation value, you can write it as Sx, Sy, Szz. You can write it as, with the help of this rotation matrix, orthogonal matrix, cos phi minus sin phi, cos phi, 0, 0, 1. This matrix we have already seen, R matrix, then Sx, Sy, Szz. This is before rotation expectation value, and this is after rotation expectation value, and this is the rotation matrix. So what is the conclusion? So when we apply the rotation operator dz, which is e to the power of minus I by h cross phi Szz, which is a finite rotation operator, when applied to state ket alpha, it is actually, you can see that expectation value is rotated. Rotates the expectation value of S around the Z axis by an angle phi. Okay. So what is the conclusion? Actually, this spin, even though it is not a physical rotation, the expectation value gets rotated. The expectation value spin operator behaves as classical rotation, but it is not rotation, but it behaves as classical rotation. Okay, is the idea clear? Now this expression, this matrix equation, we can write it as SKR after rotation. Okay, you can write it as sum over L RKL SL, where RKL is sum over L RKL is this matrix. Okay, so this equation you can write this as a simple equation, matrix equation. This is expanded form and this is the short form. The left side column you can write it as SK of R, and that is equal to sum over L RKL SL, where this is the SL before rotation. Okay, I think that is clear. Now similarly, so what is RKL? RKL are the R matrix. What is RKL? RKL are the elements of a 3x3 orthogonal matrix R, which does the rotation. Okay, we have found such a matrix earlier. Same matrix we obtain now also for the rotation about Z axis. So now this idea can be generalized not only to spin but also to any kind of rotation or any angular momentum. So you can write, instead of S, you can write it as JKR, rotated. JKR expectation is equal to sum over L RKL expectation GIL. Okay, where JK are the generators of the rotation. Whatever angular momentum, JK are the generators of rotation, satisfying our fundamental definition Ji Jj equal to IH cross epsilon I JK JK. Okay, is that the idea clear? What we
Yes,
did
sir,
is we
clear.
of systems, and we checked the behavior of expectation value of Sx, Sy and Szz. We found that it behaves like a classical rotation. So spin angular momentum have all the properties of angular momentum, even though it is not physical rotation. It is an intrinsic rotation, intrinsic quantity, but it behaves as a classical rotation. Okay. Now I will close this session and I will start a new session. Do you have any doubts? Is that clear?
Yes, sir, clear.
Okay. So next session needs some time, so I am closing this session. So you can wait for some time and I will